What happens when you grow up in the mountains of Dagestan, Russia, train under one of the most respected coaches in mixed martial arts, and inherit the legacy of a legend? You get Islam Makhachev.
You like or you don't like, I am best fighter in the world right now. Thank you.
A UFC lightweight champion.
UFC lightweight champion of the world!
Who isn't just winning fights, he's rewriting what dominance looks like in the modern era of MMA. It all goes back to Makhachkala, Dagestan, Russia. It's a place that produces world-class grapplers the way Silicon Valley produces tech startups. For centuries, the rugged mountain region has been home to a warrior culture where physical toughness, loyalty, and discipline are non-negotiable values. In Dagestan, fighting isn't just a sport, it's a way of life. It's how you earn respect in your community and represent your people with honor. Islam Makhachev grew up alongside Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the most dominant champions MMA has ever seen.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, still undisputed!
Both were trained under Khabib's father, the legendary Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, a man whose contributions to combat sports in Dagestan turned a small republic into an international fighting powerhouse. Abdulmanap wasn't just a coach, he was a philosopher of discipline, a tactician of combat, and a father figure to dozens of fighters. His training camps were notorious for their grueling pace and military-style structure. As a kid, Islam engaged in street fights, which was a common sight in Dagestan. Adults would sometimes pick boys to face off in impromptu matches to test their toughness. Islam initially trained in freestyle wrestling, the region's bread and butter, for a year before switching to mixed martial arts under Abdulmanap's guidance, especially after hearing that Khabib had become a professional fighter. But like every fighter's journey, Islam's wasn't spotless. In 2015, during just his second UFC fight, he faced Brazilian striker Adriano Martins, a technically sound veteran with dangerous knockout power. In a shocking moment, Islam got caught. One right hand, one perfect shot. A clean knockout in the first round. Even Islam was too stunned to process it in the moment. For many fighters, that kind of loss changes careers, can shake a competitor's confidence so deeply they start second-guessing themselves, adjusting their style to be overly cautious. But for Islam, it was the opposite. That loss became a defining moment. Instead of unraveling, he went back to the drawing board. He tightened his striking defense, built more patience into his attacks, and added layers to his grappling transitions. In the years following that setback, Islam quietly climbed the ranks. He started building a win streak that went largely unnoticed by casual fans, partially because no one wanted to fight him. Top contenders saw the risk. He wasn't famous enough to offer a career-making payday, but he was dangerous enough to derail anyone's title hopes. As his skills sharpened, his control in the octagon became something to study. He didn't just win fights, he neutralized opponents. He made elite fighters look like they didn't belong. Meanwhile, to understand Islam's rise, you have to understand Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, he has been unrivaled inside the octagon. He's just an unprecedented phenom of a talent.
Khabib wasn't just a dominant fighter, he was a force of nature. Undefeated at 29-0, never knocked down, barely even scratched. He tore through names like Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje. And then, in a moment no one expected, he retired in October 2020.
Today, I want to say, it was my last fight. And no way I'm gonna come here.
It wasn't because of age or injury. It was because of the death of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. For Khabib, his father wasn't just a coach, he was his foundation. After submitting Gaethje, Khabib laid his gloves in the octagon and retired on the spot. The MMA world was stunned. But for Khabib, the message was simple. Without his father, there was nothing left to prove. That moment also marked a transition, because from that point on, the torch was passed to Islam. He wasn't just Khabib's teammate, he was family. And while the world was mourning the end of Khabib's career, Islam was quietly extending his win streak. He would eventually climb to double digits. As Islam's reputation grew, so did the list of opponents unwilling to face him. Despite dominating fights, his name wasn't one top contenders wanted in their contract. The UFC had to get creative, at times flying in international fighters last minute just to find opponents. Then came UFC 280 in October 2022. Islam finally got his title shot against Charles Oliveira, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu master and record holder for most finishes in UFC history. This was supposed to be chaos. Charles was riding a wave of destruction, finishing top contenders like Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, and Dustin Poirier. But Islam didn't flinch. He took Charles down, controlled him, and submitted him in the second round. The lightweight belt got a new home in Dagestan. Not long after, he faced Alexander Volkanovski, the pound-for-pound #1 fighter at the time. Their first fight was razor close. Volk pushed Islam like no one else had. There were moments in that fight where Islam looked uncomfortable, even vulnerable. It ended in a decision win for Islam, but debate lingered. Was it really clear-cut? Islam heard the noise. He didn't engage in trash talk. He simply asked for a rematch. And when it came, he made sure there would be no debate. In their second meeting, Islam landed a head kick so clean it froze time. The same Volkanovski who had never been finished got folded. At that moment, Islam defended his title and erased the doubts. Today, Islam Makhachev is one of the most decorated fighters in the sport. He has defended his title 4 times, holds the record for most wins in UFC lightweight title fights, and is tied for the second longest win streak in UFC history with 15 consecutive victories. Statistically, he leads the division in strike accuracy and boasts one of the highest takedown defense rates, making him one of the most well-rounded and difficult fighters to beat in MMA. Back home, Makhachev has been honored by the Republic of Dagestan with the Order for Merit to the Republic and the Salih Suleiman Medal. These awards reflect the immense pride his home region has in his representation on the global stage. On the international front, Makhachev has been ranked as UFC's pound-for-pound #1 fighter for 3 consecutive years, 2023 to 2025. It's a testament to his consistency, adaptability, and ability to perform under pressure. And yet, the future holds even more intriguing possibilities. Dustin Poirier's name has surfaced again, but realistically, it feels more like a legacy fight for Poirier.
Fought for everything he's ever got.
He's earned his spot here.
I never quit. I never say die. I believe in myself, and I know I can finish anybody in the world.
Then a legitimate challenge for Islam. Justin Gaethje is in the mix, and their contrasting styles would make for an electrifying bout. But one name stands out, and it's not even a lightweight. It's Ilia Topuria. Ilia, fresh off taking the featherweight title, is undefeated, brash, and fearless. He's publicly claimed Islam would be an easy fight. That kind of confidence isn't just hype. It creates friction, and friction fuels demand. Stylistically, it's fascinating. Ilia has knockout power, aggressive pressure, and a chip on his shoulder. Islam, on the other hand, brings surgical precision, patience, and a grappling game capable of turning any fight into a slow, exhausting nightmare. If that fight happens, it might not just be a clash of styles, but a clash of cultures. Georgia and Spain versus Dagestan, the rising star against the established king. But Islam's challenges don't stop there. Arman Tsarukyan, a fierce contender who pushed Islam to the limit in their first meeting, is rapidly climbing the ranks. That rematch feels inevitable. Then there's Mateusz Gamrot, Jalen Turner, and a new crop of hungry lightweights with designs on the throne. Islam isn't coasting. He's in the middle of a shark tank. He could stay at lightweight and reign for years. He could drop down to featherweight for a super fight. Or he could move up and test himself against welterweights like Leon Edwards or Belal Muhammad. But that's what makes Islam special. He doesn't run from pressure. He welcomes it, not with antics, not with trash talk, but with discipline, technique, and relentless composure built from years grinding in the shadows. He's no longer living in Khabib's shadow. He's built his own empire, and that's a wrap. Who should Islam fight next? Should the UFC make the Topuria super fight happen? Should he run it back with Arman? Or should he chase a second belt at welterweight? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Islam Makhachev's background, legacy, and future, like and subscribe for more content like this.